it is a quick and easy sew, and you can use woven or knit. It's woven on the pattern. I'm going to show you what the pattern looks like here in just a second, and I'm going to show you the pieces that you cut out. If you're doing directional fabric, make sure that that means like your puppy dogs are all turned one direction up and down, so you don't want to cut something out that is opposite of that. All right, so here's the pattern. McCalls 6594 is what I used as my general outline. You can do all kinds of stuff. I did add these ruffle thing in the middle one time. It takes gobs and gobs and gobs of time because you're gathering two sides. It just takes gobs of time. So I have not done that since. I made my 3 little girls matching dresses like that. So the pieces that you are going to need are number 3, which is the sleeve piece. Number 5, which is a skirt piece. You just figure out how long you want it for your kid. It's a high waist line, so I mean this here would probably work for a 2-year-old. Maybe if you want a decent length, pretty long length. Otherwise, you're gonna need add a lot onto there. And then also, you're gonna need these 2 pieces. This is not including the belt. I didn't do the belt on this one. I'm just doing as fast as I can. Piece number 2. Piece number 1. I'm doing a 4 today, so I'm just going to cut out. Remember, you have your fold line, your fold line, your fold line, and then this one does not get a fold line, but it does need to be doubled because you need 2 sleeves. Okay, so I have the sleeve piece right here. I cut out, you can see number 3 there. I never seem to cut it as long as what the pattern says. This is a size 4 that I'm doing for someone, and I only did it to the first line here. I just feel like they're way too long otherwise. So what if they end up being a little short, because you can have it be more 3/4 if need be. It's not going to hurt anything. But you see this line right here, the fold line? That's where you're going to put in the elastic. And I'll show you how to do that. It's really easy. All you have to do is mark right there on both sides with a pin. Alright, so I marked it with a pen. I'm going to take it. It's kind of hard to do with holding a video camera. But I'm going to take the layer. I'm going to fold it in half here, the whole way across. And I'm just going to sew however wide, probably just a little bit extra, but however wide my elastic is, I'm going to sew a little bit more than that. So good sides together, sew a line the whole way down through here. It ends up matching up to one of my lines there at my guesstimate point. So now as long as I hold this end, and you could iron that straight edge if you wanted, just so you didn't make a mistake, but I'm just going to be holding the other end as I sew, and just sew the whole way down through there. Alright, so now I have this line here, but I have this pocket area on the back. I am going to iron this flap down, and we're going to sew a seam on there to just kind of have a whole casing right there. So I'm going to iron that quick. Okay, so you can see I actually ironed it upward, because there's the top of my sleeve. I ironed it upward like this. Now all I'm going to do is sew real close to the edge of this, right on top of the fabric, so that you have a casing for your elastic to go through. So I'm using 1/4 inch elastic, and I have this little puller througher thing here that I'm going to tie it in. You can also use safety pin. Anyway, so now I have that casing. This is the front, and I'm going to stick it in there. Now, the best thing to do is to hold this up to your little girl's arm and cut the elastic with about a 1/2 inch, maybe an inch extra, close to an inch extra of her arm width, but I don't have this little girl here, so I am totally guessing on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it the whole way through. Here it comes. Guess I could use my son's arm, but I think I'm just going to guess it. Alright, I'm going to guess it, and then I'm going to pull it back out and measure it, just so that I have the same for both arms. I just thought of that. Probably be a good idea. Alright, I'm just stretching it, because you definitely don't want to be too tight. So what if it's too loose? It's not going to matter. I'm holding the 2 sides together just to get a feel for how her arm's going to go through there. And I would say that's definitely bigger than it would need to be for her arm. And I'd much rather have it too big than tight on her little arm. So I am going to go ahead, snip it on either side. Pull it back out, which is going to take me longer, but better in the long run to have them the same. And just for kicks, what was it? 6, 7, 8 3/4. So 8 3/4 is what I cut it at. I'm going to go ahead and snip the other side to be the same. Take this, feed it back through. Here we go, sticking it back in. I did it on the outer part of the casing just because I thought it would be maybe nicer to not have, or to have the elastic further away from the skin. Like it'll have a double layer in there. And so the elastic is stuck in there right now. I've still got the rest of it in here. I'm pulling it through. Here he comes. It's a little harder to undo this elastic than the 1/8 inch, which I'm used to working with. This is 1/4 inch elastic. 1/8 inch I can undo the knot extremely easy. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to let it go to the edge. I'm going to make sure it's not twisted in there. And then sew that in there as well so it stays. Alright, that's done. I'm going to do the other one. Alright, so now I'm going to grab my bodice pieces, my front and my back of the bodice. I did put a safety pin on the bottom here of the back bodice just so I know it's the back. Honestly, they're almost exactly the same. I don't think anybody will ever notice if you have it on backwards, but whatever. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your sleeve piece on your rounded spot here and one of your pieces, bodice front or back, match those two up. They should match right up to each other. Good sides together. And go ahead and just put that right through there. Now remember, if you're sewing this with a regular sewing machine, not an overlock, you do need to do your seam with a zigzag over the top edge then, or it will fray and your dress will not last very long. So I'm going to the other side of the bodice. Oops, I'm almost going to sew two bodices together. Not good. Grabbing the other sleeve, because you want to do bodice, sleeve, bodice, sleeve, bodice, sleeve. So I'm matching up those two armholes again, two curved areas, throwing it through the overlock. I love my overlock. It's just amazing. I did do something to it this morning when I was rethreading it that now it wants to gather my seams a little bit, which is kind of a pain in the butt. Alright, so now I got those three pieces together, and I'm going to come back. Here's my sleeve, the original one I started with. Sleeve. We're going to grab the bodice and put it on the other side of the sleeve. Just bodice, sleeve, bodice, sleeve, bodice, sleeve. If they don't quite match up, just finagle them a little bit. Maybe make one start a little sooner than the other one, because I don't know why this one, maybe when I was cutting it I didn't cut this one exactly right, which is okay. This one's really close. It's not going to be a big deal. Okay, now, so I have sleeve, bodice, I'm going to put I'm now finishing it round here. So now we'll complete the circle. I'm now sewing that first sleeve to the last bodice that I just put on, so now it will be a complete circle. And I have to finagle it because I cut something wrong. Alright, so you should have one big circle now of sleeve, bodice, sleeve. Alright, so now I'm going to take, and I'm just going to, you would zigzag the whole top if you do not have a serger, but I am going to serge the whole top. And I have to kind of hold it tight because it's wanting to gather. I have to figure out what I did wrong on my machine this morning to make it want to act like this. It's a brand new machine and it was working beautifully until that happened. It kind of felt like I did something. It kind of feels like the first one is a little tighter when I pulled it through. So I got it back to the center here at the beginning. I'm going to take it, I'm going to snip off that little piece right there. Get my southern accent out. Flip my camera. So right now you can see it. If I go like this, it looks massive. It looks like I could wear it and it's supposed to be for a size 4. But that's okay because this is going to get elastic in the top. This is going to get other in the bottom. We'll be fine. Okay, so now take this top part. What you want to do is you want to flip it over. And that's about a 1/2 inch because I'm going to be putting that 1/4 inch elastic in there again. But if you can see, I'm going to do that. I'm going to sew the whole top just like that. When you get back to the beginning, you need to stop. You can see about how far away my fingers are from each other here. You need to let an opening right in there to get the elastic through, okay? So don't sew the whole way and end at where you started. Not good. You want to stop about 1 inch or close to maybe a little less than 1 inch before where you started so you can put elastic in. So I'm just literally going to take that and honestly, I'm not that picky my seam here, like nobody's going to notice if it's not exact. I would never ever pin this. That would take eternity and it's supposed to be a fast sew. But I can show you here kind of what I'm doing. It's done. Taking my full thing of elastic, found that little opening right there that I left open on purpose. And I'm going to stick the safety pin in. I'm not going to use the other puller again for this just because it reminded me how much it's hard to unknot the 1/4 inch from that. I think that thing that I use is called a bobkin. I had 2 of them on purpose in case I lost one, and I lost one. So I'm just feeding this the whole way through here. By the way, I'm literally doing this for Genevieve because she wanted to know if that was an easy pattern that I did, and I did it out of knit. Actually, it was double brushed poly even, DBP. So I did it out of knit for my daughter, and this is out of woven. I used to use woven all the time, and then I discovered knit and love it. And most of our clothing, like this shirt I made, is made out of knit because it's soft, it's stretchy, it's movable. So anyway, I am using woven though right now because I need to whip this up for a little girl's birthday party today, and I didn't really have any knit that I felt like I could part with at the moment. So it just so happens that someone gave me tons of fabric, thank you Sam, that I am utilizing some of that fabric. Okay, so I'm stretching this the whole way around. Now I safety pinned my elastic to here so that it's not going anywhere. And then just kind of stretch at it a little bit. I mean, you can kind of see, like, hold it up like you would, like the sleeves are on either side here. Hold it up and just kind of stretch at it. You don't want it to be a huge neckline that the little girl's, you know, showing off while she shouldn't be showing off. On the same hand, you don't want it to be so tight that it's not going to fit over her head, or it's going to be hard to pull over her head. I know no two people are created equal, and no two heads are really the same size. So it's a real guesstimate here because, again, I don't have her head to pull over. I'd rather have it be a little bit looser than too tight. I mean, well, I guess if I can get it over my head, which I can, I shouldn't have a problem getting it over a little girl's head. So I think I'm going to go with that. I'm not pulling this one out and measuring it because I'm not dealing with pulling it through again just because I don't have time. This is supposed to be a quick sew, and her birthday party is in, well, I can't see the time right now. It's very soon. It takes an hour to get there, so I don't have a lot of wiggle room to work with. Alright, so got two ends here. Take them, hold them together, and I overlapped it about a quarter to half an inch. Stick it on your sewing machine. I don't know if I can show you what I'm doing or not. Because again, I'm kind of trying to hurry. I put it on zigzag mode, and I am just going to sew it back and forth real quick here. Maybe that'll work. Zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. And stop. And then stretch. And make sure, pull hard, that it's not going to go anywhere. So I feel comfortable with that. I'm going to turn it back to my regular stitch. I'm going to hold it nice and tight on the good side, and I'm going to sew from that seam to this seam to close it up. And then I know they match perfectly too. But we're going to close up that seam real quick. Okay, just close it up. I'm going to trim that, and then I have my neckline done. What do is, here's our sleeve. All right. I'm going to take, what do I want to do? Do I want to sew it later, or do I want to just cheat and sew it now? I'm going to cheat and sew it now. I'm going to overlock the edge of this real quick, and then I'm just going to flip it over and put like a, not quite a half an inch of a hem on the bottom. So here, I overlocked the edge, and now I'm just doing a real quick hem right there. If I was doing this professionally, I would have sewn my sleeve, like sewn them together first, up here, like this whole section, like we're going to do next. I would have done that first, and then I would have flipped and sewn it. It's just faster for me to do it this way, and honestly, nobody's ever going to know the difference. So just so you know, in the future-wise, like more professional, I would have sewn this after the sleeve was already one big loop. Just faster this way. Now, I've got my hem on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put good sides together at the bottom of the sleeve here. Like I said before, I would have normally done this part first before I stuck the hem in it. Oh well. Alright, you're going to match up. I'm just pulling all the stringies this direction. I don't take the time to cut them beforehand most times because that takes time too. Going to match up and just sew the whole way down through to the bottom of your bodice, okay? So we're closing up the seam right now for the sleeve. Got this whole piece, sewed that seam the whole way down through. I'm going to take and flip it. Grab this, shake it out a little bit, and ta-da! We have the top part, so it's just missing the skirt. Alright, so now, let me see, what do I want to do next? Oh, I'm going to go ahead and put a tag in it. Because I still have that safety pin hanging on the back there, and I'd like to get it off so it doesn't rip it or anything. It just so happens that I have cutesy tags. A lot of times I'll take a ribbon, singe the two sides, like heat them with a little bit of, like a candle. I'll just singe the sides, and then I'll just put a little piece of ribbon back there because, you know, the kids don't really need a special tag. But I bought these a long time ago when I made an outfit for a baby shower, and I wanted something kind of fun in it. So just a little tag here. And I'm going to stick that in the back of her dress so she knows what the back is. So I'm going to just do that real quick. So I'm literally rolling with the punches right now. I just realized that the fabric I had, I should have cut two skirts, and I didn't. I randomly cut out one, and I don't have any more fabric. Because like the folds over here, you're supposed to then sew the two good sides together, which we'll still do, but it's just not going to be a full skirt. It is what it is. I can't help it at this point. I'm kind of stuck because I don't have more of this fabric. I was going to do this like light pink stuff here on the floor, but the more I think about it, I'd rather have it all be uniform. It's just not going to be a full skirt. So I'm just going to go ahead. I slit the side open here, and I'm just going to quick iron it, flip good sides together, and sew it. Alright, as you see here, I had to, it's half the width it would normally be. It would normally be a lot fuller than this, but I sewed down both sides here. Good sides are together at the moment. And actually I made the top part exactly the same size as what it's going to fit into for the bodice. Normally it would be a lot longer and we would gather it and stick it onto the bodice, but we are not going to do that because I can't. So I actually, what I had originally cut was 1 inch too big on either side, so I started in 1 inch further, and as I went down I slowly gradually went out until I got to the edge of the fabric. So it's very gradually sloping to the width of what I originally cut it towards the bottom. Is I'm going to take the bodice, which is the pretty side, out. The good side is out right now. I'm going to take the whole thing and I'm going to stick it inside of here. Again, this is because we're not gathering it. Honestly, if we were gathering it, I'd be doing the exact same thing though. Now I'm thinking about it. Okay, so I've got good side stuck in there. I'm going to find my side seam. I'm going to match it up. Normally if I was gathering this at this point, I would have put a gathering stitch the whole way around the top of the skirt itself. But since I'm not gathering it, I'm just sticking it, yeah, you're not going to have to gather then once you get this on. So just bringing it, finding the other side seam, putting pins in there, real quick like. Alright, they should match up exactly, and they do. Now, normally you would gather the extra big skirt onto here. Okay, just so you know. It's just not going to be a very wide dress. And I'm going to take the overlock and I'm just going to overlock the whole thing around the whole top right here. Alright, so another moment of truth. Do another flipping. Here it comes. Alright, we got one big sack going on here. Peasant dress. Now again, it's not as, you know, nice as it normally would be. I think what I might do, because of my not being as wide, I might put a little piece of elastic in here, or I'm trying to think what I want to do. I might take, got some string sticking out here I need to cut off. I might actually take and put a ribbon on it. I'm just trying to decide because of it being so gathered up here. I want it to still look nice here and I don't want it to pucker out for her. I might just take a piece of elastic and put a piece of elastic sewn zigzag on the inside like I did for my daughter's dress, just to bring it in all equally. But it's going to be total guesswork, which, you know, isn't always the most fun. But so all I have to do yet is, other than putting that little piece of elastic in there, is taking this and overlocking, or in your case maybe zigzagging the edge, and then turning it over and hemming it just like we did the very bottoms of the sleeve. So yeah, it's half tempting to maybe make this a little shorter too, so it's more of a shirt than a dress for her, because she's just not going to have a lot of room to run in a dress. Just chop off some here. It would be a really cute shirt too. If this was knit, it'd be a total different story because it is stretch. Woven, no wiggle room, literally. So anyways, lots of stuff to keep in mind when you're sewing things, but I am going to go ahead, I think, and put just a little tiny bit of elastic up here to bring it together a little more and make it all look just a little bit more uniform. Sometimes you can put like a ribbon on here, or they have a belt on the pattern. You can make a belt for it. I just found like the belts were always falling off my little girls. I'm trying to see if I have a picture of that here. No. But the belts always just kind of work their way down. I even put like threads on either side to hold ribbon up, but then it kind of hangs somewhere it shouldn't hang, so just kind of a pain. There are so many variations to this pattern though that you can do. Obviously you saw, you know, me fake it through on this one, so yeah, remember to cut 2 pieces, for one for the front and one for the back. You'll have a nice full skirt and you won't have to worry about this. So anyways, yeah, hope you have better luck with it than I did, but enjoy! I also sewed up this quick and easy peasant dress. It's not as detailed because it just has elastic on the ends here. I didn't do any extra frills or anything, but advertising for this, people. It's so much ado blogspot.com that you can go and you can print this out. And this one is considered an infant peasant dress, size infant 0 to 3. For Bitty Baby, which is what I cut this one at, I cut it a little bit shorter. And you got your sleeve piece. You need 2 of these on the fold, and you need 2 of these on the fold. And then you can whip together this little dress really quick and easy, a lot like we just did the other one, where you match up, once you open them up, you match up those sides, and you'll know exactly what you're doing at that point, because you could kind of follow the video and do the same thing for the neckline, adding elastic. The ends of the sleeves is where you add the elastic. On this, you just basically make a hem but a little bit wider and run, I just do 1/8 inch elastic, run that through the edge of the sleeve, and so it's shut like that. So it takes, I wrote this down when I made it forever ago, 10 1/4 inches for the neck is what you want of the 1/8 inch elastic to put through the neckline, and you want 5 inches, 2 of those for each of the sleeves, so, or 1 for each sleeve, so you'll need 2 in all.